Hi everyone, this is Ida with Created to Create. I have a project share. Um, I have been working on a few things. I have been organizing my craft room, guys, but I realized that this is going to be a long process, and if I had to stop crafting until I was done, I wouldn't be able to stand it. So I gave in and I decided I'm just going to craft and clean, organize my craft room, and when it's done, it's done. But in between, I am going to craft. So I created a Christmas card, and I want to do I want to do 4 different cards, all being the same size but turned in different directions. And instead of the pink that we were all doing, I wanted to kind of shy away from the pink and maybe go to, for example, this black and white, or maybe even the traditional red, greens, golds, colors like that, the traditional Christmas colors. So this is going to be one that I'm going to do. And I actually have several already done. And at the end, when I'm done, I want to create a box to house them in, or some type of caddy to house them in. And then I'm going to go ahead and send these out as Happy Mail, because I love, love, love a formal Christmas tree. And for me, a black and white card is more like a black tie affair kind of card. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something totally different than the shabby chic. And even though I love it, I absolutely love it. Sometimes, we as crafters tend to do work with the same colors over and over again, and then things start to kind of look the same. So I just kind of I didn't want to fall into that. So this is what I created, and this is one of them that I created. And they're all going to be 4.5 by 5.5 inches. I mean, 4.25 by 5.5 inches. I'm not sure what size that is. Maybe an A4. I'm not really sure. I didn't even look it up, guys. To me, I just make a card and that's it. And my preference is like a 6 by 6 or a 5 by 5. But I went ahead and decided to go ahead and stay with the traditional side, or the standard size. And this is what I created. And I'm going to do a really short tutorial on how I did this. And I always like to use the 110-pound cardstock for my base for any card or any tag, or even a die cut. If I can get away without using 110-pound cardstock, I try to do that because of the stability of it. So anyway, this is just a plain black card, and what I was going to do and I didn't do was emboss the back. So hopefully on the and I was actually prepping all my pieces, and that's the one step I forgot to do. But if if the video's not too long, I'll go ahead and do that. But anyway, here's the back to the card. I kept it really simple. I could have adhered a snowflake. I could have added my stamp to it, but I want to keep them really plain. What I really want to do is just emboss it and leave it. So the kind of the way I do my tags. So anyway, this is the card that I created. I did put a sentiment in this one, and it's just plain white and black and silver. So those are the colors that I stuck with: the white, the black, the silver, and a kind of gray. So it says we are like a snowflake, all different in our own beautiful way. I love this stamp set. And this is going to be all about the snowflakes, guys. So I'm going to share with you the paper pad that I use. Again, the white and the black are 110-pound cardstock. Oh, before I do that, I wanted to give a shout out to Stamp and Storage, guys. As you all know, I am organizing my craft room, and I did incorporate a couple of pieces from Stamp and Storage, and they have amazing products, that fit into the IKEA furniture. And I do own a few pieces of the IKEA furniture. So I went ahead and decided to buy some pieces while I was organizing and condensing, but still wanting to keep everything, or almost everything that I own, but I was condensing it instead of the way I had it spread out and all that, because it was just taking up too much room. And I realized that by buying these products from Stamp and Storage, that I could keep the same things, still be organized, and it would look beautiful. I still have to paint and all that, so that's why I don't want to do my reveal yet, and because I'm not completely finished. Anyway, the shout out to Stamp and Storage. One, they create amazing products, guys. So if you're not familiar with them, they are online. So, and like I said, I ordered a couple of pieces, but the shout out is that they are Christian. They are a Christian based company, and they sent this little booklet with, they sent their catalog, and then they sent this little booklet, and I was going to throw it away and not really was paying attention. But then I said, oh, let me read. Let me see what this is about. Because when you look at it, you don't even think that it's about the Lord. But that's what it's about, guys. So they have this little insert in the beginning, and it says, at Stamp and Storage, we are humbled that you have entrusted us with this purchase, knowing that you're passionate about your hobby. We truly hope it meets all your expectations. And then it says, we're also grateful for the opportunity to share something we are very passionate about, and that is God's unconditional love. So shout out to Stamp and Storage. Great job, guys. So I am going to be purchasing some more things from them because I'm not done with my craft room. But again, some of these things are a little pricey, but when you get them, you realize why. The quality is amazing. These things are made of wood. They're going to last you forever, and I don't think you ever get tired of them. So sometimes we get tired of certain things. This is something that is never going to lose its practicality. It's never going to lose the quality. It's always going to be very efficient in your craft room. So I recommend that if you guys are reorganizing or revamping your craft rooms, that you hop on over to their website and check out what they have. So that being said, guys, let's get back to the project. I just wanted to really give them a shout out because of them being Christians and the quality of their products. Anyway, here's the card that I created. So I'm going to share with you what I used to create the card. I used an old Bo Bunny paper pad, and I only used one sheet because I wanted to stick, remember, with the grays, the silver, the whites, and the blacks. So it has a sheet right here that is a gray with like snowflakes. Looks like snow is falling. That's this one right here. So I only use one of those sheets to do all three cards that I created, and I still had a little pieces left. So anyway, that's the one that I used, one of the sheets from there. And then I used I also used a piece of black glitter cardstock. This is actually a paper pad by, I think it's Die Cuts with a View. Yep. And I picked this up at Joann's, I think, and it has different colors of glitters, and I used the black on this. So, and that's pretty much it, guys. I used the glitter, I used the white, I used the black, and one pattern paper. That's it. I wanted to keep it very simple, very elegant. So, and then I did use a couple of dies. I used this swirl die back here that I bought on, I think I got it at AliExpress, guys. I don't have a link to it. I know Amazon has it as well because I've seen it on Amazon. This little snowflake and pine branch was a gift from Jacqueline, who is Metal Art 001 here on YouTube. And then the acrylic snowflake up here was a gift from my friend Mig. She's Mig Sal here on YouTube. Mig is from Puerto Rico, and Miss Jacqueline is from Colorado. Anyway, and I did use one stamp set that had the die included with the stamps by Hero Arts. Let me share with you what that looks like. That's this one right here. Let me see. Right there is the number, if anybody is interested in that. And I'm not affiliated with them or anything like that, guys, but I really do like their products. And here's what the stamps look like. And I used the ones down here. I already have them in my Misty. It says, may your days be. And then I cut out the word merry and bright. So it does come with the die that says the merry die. So that's one of the reasons I really like this, because I not only get the stamp, but I also get the dies to it, or the die to it. And I have this one, and I have Joy, I believe. And look at how beautiful this is. So this says, have yourself a merry little Christmas. I use little tiny blings like to mimic glistening snow. And of course the black, I cut out the merry twice, one in the black glitter cardstock and one in the white, because I wanted to offset it so it would have a white shadow to it, or two-tone. And I use some black flatbacks, and I also use, like, again, the crystal ones, the clear ones, or iridescent on the snowflakes that are on the little branch and up here on this piece. And I did edge this piece with some, with a silver pen, this one right here by Color, and you can get these, you can even get these at Walmart, you can get them at any craft store. So that's what I use. So let's get started, you guys, and if you want, follow along, and that way you can make a set and hopefully gift it to somebody. And it can be any color, guys. I just wanted mine to be very elegant, and even no matter what color you make it, it's still going to be elegant. But just pick out your base color and then a couple of accent colors and one printed paper. That way we can keep it really, really simple. So I'm going to move that aside, and I already have my pieces cut out. So you are going to need a an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and you're going to cut it at 5.5. You're going to cut it at 5.5, and then you're going to have two pieces that measure 5.5 by 11. So all you're going to do is score down the middle at 5.5 on the 11 length. So you're going to get, that will give you 2. And then the other way I want you to cut another piece is going to be, again, with an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, but you're going to score it at 4.25 all the way down, and then you're going to get your other 2 cards. So with 2 8.5 by 11s, you can get 4 bases for your cards. So, but this is just one of them. And then you're going to need a little strip of your printed paper. Here's mine, the one I was telling you about. And this only measures, it measures 2 inches by 5.25. So this is a 2 by 5.25. And then you're going to need another little piece of paper that also measures, oops, I still got a piece in there. I see it. Hold on, let me take that out before I forget. So make sure to check that everything is out. And this one measures also 5.25 by 4.25. So you're going to need a piece of white or silver or whatever color you decide to go, or gray. You can do either one. I'm going to do this exact card, so I'm doing white. So it's going to be 4.25 by 5. I'm sorry. It's going to be 4 inches, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it's going to be 4 inches by 5.25. And you're going to use your edge die here. And it doesn't matter what edge die you use, guys. You don't have to use the one that I'm using. Whatever you like and that you have in your stash. And that's what I have been doing. I've been pulling out scraps from my paper. All these little pieces are scraps that I had in my scrap folder. And I decided I'm going to use up some of that stuff while I'm cleaning. I don't want to throw it away because, we're wasting money when we could still get pieces like this out of them. So this, again, it measures 4 by 5.25, and I was able to salvage a little piece. And even though, see, this one is printed in the back, guys, I'm still going to use it. It's 110-pound cardstock, and when I put it down, nobody is going to see that. So I'm going to use that piece. Please don't throw away a piece of paper that you printed on when you can use the other side. So that's the one I'm going to use, and I cut out one of the little, I'll share with you what that looks like. One of the little vines. What did I do with it? I thought I had everything separated, but maybe I put it back. I didn't think I had. Here it is. Here it is. So this is what that first one looks like. This one is this right here. And then this little line right here is this one that Miss Jacqueline gifted me. And I believe this does also come from Allie, guys. So those are the 2 that I used. And then I cut out the word Mary from the Hero Arts. In the glitter paper and in a white. So you're going to need, whether it be Mary, whether it be Joy, whatever you have, guys. Whatever you have, it doesn't matter. So I chose the word Mary, and I'm going to glue these together, and I'm going to offset them. So I'm going to set that to the side. I'm going to set these to the side. And then I'm going to, and I also cut a piece. I have an envelope that has a bunch of little pieces of chipboard in it. So I cut a piece that's a little bit shorter than the little printed piece, which was 2 inches. So this is smaller, narrower than that. And then instead of being 5 1/4, this is maybe 5 inches. So it's a little smaller than the printed one because this is going to give my paper dimension. I don't always have to use my sticky tape or my foam tape. I can save on that by using scraps of chipboard. So, and this is thick chipboard, so it's going to give me the perfect dimension. So you need one of those. And then you need a snowflake, guys, or a poinsettia, whatever you decide you want to do. In my case, I'm using these, and these actually came on one die, and I'm going to share with you what that looks like. And this die was gifted to me by, which is this one right here, was gifted to me by, if I'm not mistaken, Miss Jamie Snurch in the Not So Secret Santa Swap. She gifted everyone a die, and they were all different, and I chose the snowflake because I didn't have any snowflakes. So this is the one, and it cuts out beautifully, guys. So that's the one that I use for that. And let me move that aside. And then you're going to need some type, if you're going to do the exact one I'm going to do, these are the acrylic snowflakes that I use that my friend Mig gifted me. Here's what they look like. I know you can find something like this similar at Hobby Lobby. Even I think I've purchased them at Ross or something in one of the acrylic packs. But I have AC Moore carries them. So you'll be able to find it, whether, like I said, whether it be a snowflake or a poinsettia. I'm using a snowflake. So I'm going to set that there. And I believe that's all we need, guys, other than the stamps that we're going to stamp. But I'm going to take a quick minute and I'm going to let you look at this card because I do want to emboss the back of my card. And I'm going to emboss it with, I have this 3D textured impression embossing folder by Sizzix. And I absolutely love it, and the impressions are really, really deep. I hope you can see how deep they are. So I'm going to go ahead and run the back part of my card right here on this piece. I'll be right back, guys. And I thought I was prepared, but guess what, guys? I don't have to run to the kitchen, to my craft room from the kitchen to do it. So give me a quick second. So go ahead and emboss the back to your card if you want to do that. You don't have to. But I like to, and what I do is I take a little mister and I mist my card so that because it's so deep, the 3D folders are so deep. I want to make sure that it doesn't rip my I want to make sure that it doesn't rip my paper. So I'm gonna go ahead and emboss that really, really quick. Run it through my embossing machine. And like I said, I absolutely love this this folder, this embossing folder. Hopefully I'll be able to get away with it, guys, running it through my my regular size machine, because I do have the plus, but I don't have it out, and nope, no can do. So I'm going to skip that step, guys. I'm going to have to skip that step because it doesn't fit in my smaller machine, and it doesn't fit in my smaller machine, so I don't want to take up too much of your time because I do want to get it done. But if you can emboss the back of your, and you have the bigger machine, because the way I have to run it through, it doesn't fit. I have to use my folder this way, and it doesn't fit through the opening on my machine. So we're going to go with just this one without embossing, and I'm going to I already pre-scored it, guys. So this measures 5.5, and this is 8.5. So it's 8.5 by 5.5 wide, and I scored it down the middle at 5.5. I mean at 4.25. I'm sorry. So this right here, it measures. This measures 8.5, and you're going to score it down the middle, which is at 4.25. The width is 5.5. So I'm going to just fold it in half, and I'm going to remove my card so we can get to work. Let me remove these snowflakes. And try not to put your your things together because they tend to, especially when they're so intricately cut, your pieces tend to get tangled up together. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish my fold line right here. So here's the base of my card, and we're going to go ahead and start assembling this. So all I did was get this piece, and I kept this really flat. I didn't do anything to it but put it down. But before I do that, I do want to add some sparkle on this. And the way I'm going to do that, I actually keep a little, like those advertisements that are really thick, and I keep that on my desk sometimes when I'm working on stuff. So I want to put a little sparkle on this. So I'm going to use the Glitter Kiss, and the color is Frosty Sparkle Kiss. So this comes with a little sponge that comes off, and this is so pretty, you guys. If any of you have it, or if you don't have it, this is definitely something I would recommend. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit on the sponge, and I'm going to swirl it on this little snow. It looks like a snow flourish to me. So I really like this. And I'm just dabbing it a little bit off the lid, because there's some on there that I can use. Okay. I mean, that's pretty much it, you guys. And I hope you can see the sparkle. I don't know if you can see it, but it is beautiful. And this piece, the little sponge, snaps right into the lid. So let me put that away. Look at how pretty that is. You see the sparkle? So I just want it to glisten like snow. Let me move this out of the way and get my piece back over here. And all we're going to do is we're going to glue this right on top, you guys. So I am going to add my glue to the back. I hope that you're following along. And to be quite honest, guys, I like to use wet glitter. I mean, wet glitter. I like to use wet glue. Especially the paper's 110 pounds. So it's not really going to show. But on the inside, I am going to have to use a combination of glue and tape. I really don't like to use tape because I feel like it comes off. That's just me. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this sideways, and I'm going to line this up where I want it. I hope that you guys can see. Yes, that looks good right there. Make sure if you need to move your card, you do it while it's wet. So there's the beginning of our card right there, guys. Look at how pretty the contrast between the white and the black. So there it is. So pretty. And then all we're going to do, guys, is we're going to take the piece that is going to have the this piece is this little header right here that's going to have the Merry Christmas on it. But I already prearranged my stamps on my Misty, so I'm going to move this out of the way so I can go ahead and stamp that. And the way I did that, guys, I actually, let me move this. Hopefully I'll be able to give you a view of what I'm doing here, or I want to try and do that. What I did was I went ahead and put my piece where I wanted it to be, all the way to the corner. And I always stick to a corner, guys, because I can always find that spot again. And I put my little magnets down, and then I got the word Merry, and I put it exactly where I wanted it to be. And then I got my little stamps. My stamps are right here on the lid, and I laid them down right here where I needed them to be. And then I closed the lid, and what that does, it picks up the stamps. So that's how I figured out where the spot was that I wanted for that. So I'm going to go ahead and ink that up really quick. And what I like about it, that if I'm a little off, or it doesn't come out dark as I like it, I can keep stamping it, guys. And with this, I'm going to use the Stays On in the black. And you can emboss, but I'm just going to stamp. And if it doesn't come out dark enough, I can actually redo it again. I wish I had the mini Misty. This is like kind of big and I really can't keep it in frame because like I said, I'm still cleaning and have stuff on top of my desk. But eventually I think I'm going to try and get the little mini. So this actually came out pretty good, guys. I don't have to redo it, but if I needed to redo it, even though it moved wherever it moved, all I had to do was put it back in that corner, butt it up against the corner, put my magnets back down, and I'm going to go ahead and restamp it again so you can see that it didn't move. And I'm re-inking. Oops, I got it on my lid. I'm re-inking. I hope you can see this. And then I'm going to close the lid and press it down. And you're going to see that it's lined up perfectly. See how perfect it is? You can't even see that I moved it or I opened it or re-inked it or anything because it's lined up perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. Yeah, I definitely need to get the smaller Misty because I got the bigger one because I felt like I'd rather have the big one instead of having a little one, and then I needed to stamp something bigger and couldn't. But now that I have the big one, now I wish I had the small one. So all we're going to do to this, guys, we're going to add some glue to the back of this, and we're going to glue that paper down. So all I'm going to do is add glue to this. I love these little bottles, and I actually put my glossy accents in one of them, guys, and I realized that that works. The only thing that I do is when I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead and glue this in the back, guys. See how it's just a little shy of the piece, and I'm going to push it down. I realized that when I put it in here and when I'm done, I just run my straight pin through that and make sure nothing's in the nozzle and the fine tip and close it up. When I go to use it again, I don't have any problems with it clogging up. And somebody gave me the tip about using a syringe to fill it up because I didn't know how you guys were doing it. And that is an amazing tip because that's how I do it and it works. Okay, there's one thing I'm going to do here, and I'm going to, with my pen, I'm going to edge the perimeter of the card. Yeah, I like to get a little piece to make sure it's working. So here I am just edging, and it doesn't have to be perfect, guys. I don't care if it's not perfect, it still looks pretty. So I'm just edging the sides on it, bringing that little bit of silver again into it. I want you to be able to see it. I think this one's drying out because I don't use them that often, I guess, and they tend to kind of dry out when you don't. So I'm just going to edge this, pump it again. See how it did that right there? I kind of like that. I think it still looks really nice. It still looks very elegant, but it just brings out that shimmer here and there. So I really like that. Okay, that's it. And it's not real noticeable because the paper is gray, but it is enough that you can notice it. I got some paint on me, guys. Make sure you don't get any paint on you or anything because you don't want to transfer that onto your card. Didn't come off completely, but so here it is. Here is the May Your Days Be, and then we're going to add Mary right here, guys. So here's the word Mary, and I cut it out in two different colors. Let me get my glue for this. I have a glue pen that I was gifted, and I absolutely love that glue pen because all I have to do is like trace it. If I can find it, guys. And I have a couple of them because I was gifted oh, here it is. I had it in my other tool caddy because I had tool caddies in my kitchen. When I would use a tool, I would just drop. This pen right here was gifted to me by a couple of people. One of them was my friend Sonia, and I don't remember who the other one was, but it was in the Not So Secret Santa. And see, all I have to do is kind of trace the letter, the word, and just glue it down. But you got to be careful to hold it because, you know, they are pretty soft, even though this is 110-pound cardstock, because the cut is so intricate. But it'll be enough that it glues down and stays put. Sticking to my finger. So that's all you have to do is just kind of run your pen and trace the outline of that. And I'm going to line up the word Mary, but I want it to be a little offset because I want you to see the shadow. Let's see. So just be gentle and careful with it because you don't want to. There we go. So you'll be able to see when I put it on my card, you'll be able to see that you can see the white outline on it. So now that it's a little bit firmer, I am going to go ahead and use my glue. And I'm going to glue it down. My glasses tend to slide. And this does have a fine tip, so we'll be able to. Come on. Where it's really thin, I kind of just dot with glue. And then I add the, you know, squeeze it a little bit more where it's thicker. There we go. So we're going to put this down, hopefully straight. Perfect. I can see this one is not sticking right here, so I'm going to add just a little bit of glue right there. There. Now you can see the outline on Mary next to this background. Isn't that pretty? It's so pretty. And you could have layered it 3 times in another color and then offset that as well. But this is what I chose to do. So now I'm going to take my card and I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Right here, I want a little bit of the white to show on the top, but not on the sides, just top and bottom. So what I'm gonna add here is I'm going to add my beacon, because beacon doesn't warp the paper. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the beacon. I love the beacon 3-in-1 glue. You can get it at any craft store. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon and everywhere else. And I don't have to go crazy with it. And make sure it is straight. Let's see. Again, I want to be able to show a little bit of the white on top. And I'm going to pick it up, guys, so I can see, because if I don't do that, I won't be able to line it up straight. Yep, there it is. Love it. That's almost all the card, guys. This is almost all the card. And I hope that it doesn't break it up, because sometimes it tends to break it up. Now all we're going to do is add this little piece right here. And I'm going to snip it off. I'm going to snip it off because I want a couple pieces. I'm going to snip it off because I want a couple pieces. If this breaks up, guys, the phone video does it by itself. It's going to be a two-parter, and I'll be able to finish the card on the next one because I do want to add some diamond dust and all that good stuff in here. So we're going to add some glue to this. Again, I'm going to take that little scrap that I use to keep on my desk, and I'm going to add some glue down the middle, just down this center stem, and not all the way to the end because part of it is going to be covered up. But right here, that's all I'm doing, just that little piece. And I'm going to add some diamond dust to it. I keep a little scoop in mine and just tap it off. Look how pretty that twinkles. See that twinkle? Like those little touches are what make the card. I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way and bring the card back. And we're going to glue this little piece down. Again, I'm going to use wet glue. A little bit on the little branches, nothing crazy, because I still want it to kind of flow. How pretty is that? So our snowflake is going to be about right there. So let's put this down right here. Like I just put glue on random areas. Oops, yeah. Oh yeah, you can see it. I thought I had covered up the and bright, but not really. Let me see, maybe move it down a little bit. Maybe back there. So you want it to flow. You don't want it to be completely stuck down because you do want it to have some movement. And then the next little piece, we're just going to add this one right here, guys. The little piece that we cut off. And actually, I'm going to leave it because it's going to be under the snowflake. Add some glue there. And I'm going to put him right there. Now I'm going to glue one of my snowflakes. And I can use multiple snowflakes, or I can do just the one. So let's do this one. Let's do this one. And I have all these four on that one die that I shared with you. So I'm going to put this here. Now I'm going to go ahead and add another one to the top of that. And the center of that one. And that's all I'm going to use, just those two. And I'm going to leave the others for another occasion. And I didn't turn on my hot glue gun, but I'm going to use my beacon for this because I didn't turn on my hot glue gun. Normally I like to glue the acrylic one on, guys, with the hot glue, but because I didn't turn it on, I'm going to have to do it with the beacon. My granddaughter walked in not knowing I was recording. As soon as she hears me talking, she